And we have a big episode for Jedikiah coming up, where we actually start to see a little bit of more flashbacks, learn a little bit more insight into him from the perspective of the audience. When we learn that he has this girlfriend who is ultimately one of the Tomorrow people, should that do you want that to endear Jedikiah more to the audience? Do you want people to say, you know what, he's not hunting them all down?
Well, I'm not sure that people are going to think, oh, good Jedikiah, he's not hunting everybody down. They might think that I'm a bit hypocritical. But I think Jedikiah does apply the rules circumspectly. I think he doesn't do it uniformly as he says he does. He protects family and those that are close to him. So that may be his weakness. But that would be great if the audience sees Jedikiah with someone in a loving fashion, as opposed to manipulating and trying to harm them, and that makes them feel more close to the character. That would be fantastic.
Do you approach it as he actually does love this woman? I mean, she makes a point to say she loves him. Does he actually reciprocate, or is he actually maybe using her a little bit?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think what he says in that episode about taking her hand and him knowing and her knowing instantly who and what he was, and not being frightened or repulsed by knowing everything about him is true. And I think she's very good for Jedikiah. I think Jedikiah is a conflicted, torn man. I don't even know how much yet. I mean, they're revealing as the episodes go on the kind of difficult situation Jedikiah is in, and I think Morgan is the one person in the world who can help me cope with that.
Well, I mean, we are getting a little bit more insight with now episode 108, where we see some flashbacks to a little bit earlier days of Ultra, talking about his confliction. It seems like there's room there. There's moments there for things that he's done to maybe weigh on him differently than we might expect.
I think so. I mean, I think when you're in that position that most of us can't relate to, that position of being a politician in a sense, with a great deal of not only power but responsibility, you do things that most human beings can't relate to on a daily basis. You work for the general good in a way that makes the particular things that you do for that general good very, very difficult. And that stuff has to weigh on you, unless you're insane, and have some kind of superhuman ability to compartmentalize. Eventually those compartments start breaking down. There's just no way you can keep that from affecting your psyche.
So now we have, obviously, Stephen, who's been playing both sides from the beginning of the show, but we have Russell and John and Kara trying to get information out of Ultra, out of Jedikiah. Where, within those actions, where is Jedikiah the most vulnerable when they go for him?
He's the most vulnerable because of Morgan, and that eventually is the weapon that they use to get the information out of me.
Not getting inside his head?
They can't get inside my head. Remember, my brother, Roger, is, or who knows, but what we do know is that he was the greatest of all the telepaths, and you don't grow up with somebody like that without learning a trick or two, which comes out in another episode, I think in 9. There's ways to distract the telepathy and lead them off the track, or not permit them to come in, and I think Kara has run up against a pretty formidable sap in Jedikiah.
Okay.